Alright, welcome to another video from the chart readers. As we always do, we're going to look at the NASDAQ composite on the daily. We'll start on the top with our moving averages and horizontal support and resistance lines, and then we'll get into the lower indicators later. If you're looking at them real quick, they do look pretty positive though, so we'll get to those shortly. So, it has been quite a good few days for the NASDAQ, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green days in a row. If you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that was actually the same amount we got essentially, 3 weeks ago, right? So, I don't know if it's the same pattern or not. I don't know if 5 is going to top us out, but these are little things I like to look at, you know. Life is about patterns, you know, especially the stock market, if you do believe in all this technical analysis stuff, right? It's all about patterns. So 5 days in a row, I saw a big drop. 5 days in a row, hey, we might see another drop. We might go up. Again, I don't know. I just like being a little ready, right? And really, again, just kind of looking at this, you can see it started up. It looked like it was going to fly, and then it just worked its way back down, right? So just keep that in mind as we go into tomorrow. That said, let's kind of review the last few days. So I did not make a video on Thursday. I was a little under the weather. And then today we're basically talking about Friday, which was the last trading day, right? So what has happened? Look, we've been talking about this 11.3 number for a while, right? If I'm not mistaken, this was, yes. So this 5/19 date, right, the basically middle to end of May, this 5/13, we tested it again. It looks like roughly right here. We tested it right here and right here. Finally, we break it the last 2 trading days. And what did it do? It did actually roughly what I thought, right? We broke 500, started maybe getting close to 1700, and ultimately this 50 moving average. So this red line here is the 50 moving average. You see 50 right here. We have not been here since, what is that, April, right? Yeah, April 20th. So and actually we haven't been over since the very beginning of April. This was really the last time we tested the 50, right? So I don't necessarily know if we can break the 50 on the first attempt. And even if we do get over it tomorrow, we're going to want some sort of confirmation, right? But nonetheless, we are actually in a pretty good place right now. So I do want to back us up because, again, as positive as things look immediately, it's always important to remember where we are, right? So that is the overall downtrend. And this is essentially what we're sitting at, right? So obviously this is based on the last day, right? So I'm actually not even going to do that. What I'll do is I'll take us to there. Oop, Isaac Lopez sent me an email. Let's go ahead and close window. So yeah, it does look like we broke that initial downtrend. Let me finish the line right there. Oh, that's not bad actually. So look, yeah, it does look like we broke this downtrend on the 2 days. Now let's just see if it confirms it, right? If it does, hey, we might have a real good shot at just kind of filling up most of that gap. So let's remove all that. Not a bad situation to be sitting in. And then really, I know we saw it already, but let me just zoom in and look at it. The MACD is starting to creep up, right? I remember we were sitting at the -400 area not too long ago. We're now working our way to -80, right? Still in the negatives, but hey, much, much better. So the RSI is an interesting one. The MACD can go very high up, very high down. RSI generally lives in an 80 to 20 range. And we're starting to get on the higher side of this RSI. And if you look, really, there should have been another. Yeah, there was one. So this peak here came as high as, we'll even go a little high. Like, let's just say 80, right? So, and then if I zoom back out, I don't think there was, oh, there was one up here. Okay. So we've hit the 90s. That's good to know. And it does look like there were a number of other higher 80s. So, okay, maybe we're not necessarily at the wall, so maybe we do still have some room on the RSI, but again, these are little things you want to start doing, right? Look back, make some lines, and try to see where we're at, right? But the NASDAQ on the daily is setting up actually very, very nicely. It looks like we broke the downtrend. If we can break this 50, there's almost no reason why we wouldn't come close to this 12. What are the next numbers? 11.8 and, you know, basically 11.9, right? Yeah, so... yeah, there's a nice little chunk here to be had if we can get over the 50. So positive indicators down there, but still 50 is not an easy thing to break. You know what? Before we go to the SP500, let's look at the weekly. Okay, so the weekly has closed over the 8. Again, that hasn't actually happened. See, because none of these actually closed. It's been a while since we've closed. Like, this one opened over the 8, but it closed all the way down here, right? So we closed on the weekly for the first time since, what is this, March? Look at that. Well, yeah, I guess you can say this one. April. Okay, still April. Nonetheless, long amount of time. Yeah, and this looks like a healthy chart, really. Again, I think this middle line, yeah, 11.8 again was the number. So I think 11.8 is looking to be our next line up if we can get over this little hump, right? Over this little 50 hump. So again, great place to sit in the NASDAQ, and we haven't been there in a while. So okay, look, again, same thing with the SP500 on the daily. We are over the 8. We are over the 20. We're basically sitting in the middle of these two channels. And really, okay, where are we sitting? Bam, look at that. So we are also sitting on this 519 date as well. Roughly speaking, it's about the same price range. And yeah, if we can get a nice little day, we should be able to get back up to this just under 4,000 number. So yeah, it's actually pretty good, reassuring to see the SP. Look at that. MACD is looking good. And again, actually, the RSI is almost at the same number. It's roughly the 70s. I know the MACD is negative 30 versus 80, but again, the RSI sits in a tighter window. So interesting. Okay, and then let's look at the DJ30 real quick, the Dow Jones Industrial. Okay. So again, I still like that these indicators do look nice. I am a little sad that this one is negative. Obviously, you want all three to do the same thing, right? So the fact that this was negative but two were positive, that breaks a little bit of the continuity we like to see. However, we at least maintained 50% of the last candle, right? So we at least closed relatively high compared to yesterday, even though it was a down day. So again, we've seen this shape before. Looks like we got one right there. Looks like we got one right there. And really, they were green after both of them. So, yeah, this Dow Jones was a little disheartening. But nonetheless, it looks like tech is doing well. Excuse me. And, hey, got to break the 50. If we do not break the 50, we at least need to hold 11.5. Let's not go below 11.5 tomorrow. So... next video tomorrow. Again, if you haven't already, check out the website. You can catch any old videos that you missed. And then sign up for the emails. I always put a little extra after I record this on the emails. So be safe out there. It looks like we have a nice little uptrend going, but there's still a lot of work to do before we call us actually out of the overall downtrend. So trade safely.